Morning, gentlemen. Actually, I'm talking about for year nines and year tens. Just to let you know that what you learnt in year nine, you're going to use in year 10. So, always good to recognize the continuity of maths. Um, Today, I just want to use this video to just recap that program that I set up for you guys called PythagTrig. So, if we quickly go to that, we go File, for me anyway. And if I open the document, some of you will have a folder with most probably exams semester 2 or semester 1. You'll find a program called PythagTrig. So, and it hasn't changed very much. So basically, it's the first two pages that you're really interested in, Pythagoras and trigonometry. Later on, if you ever do senior maths, 11s and 12s, you may want to use the page 5, which is sine and cosine, special application. So it's typical process. Remember the yellow areas where you put your information that you've been given, and the blue areas where you can find the answer. And with the Pythagoras, remember you only need one of two sides out of three to be able to work it out. So if I was to put in length of 5 and 12, we should get an answer of 13 for the hypotenuse. That's a classic 5, 12, 13 triad. Remember, always delete first before you start and do the next one. So let's do 10, 8, and of course we know the next one will have to be the 6, 8, 10 triangle. As I say, try not to do this, okay? You'll always get this situation. In other words, please delete before you do the next problem. So that's Pythagoras. While we're on this page, I also put in here a conversion chart for lengths. Commonly, remember when you are working with triangles and you're working out the length of the sides, you must make sure they all have the same units. Now, here's an interesting thing: those zeros must stay there, except for the one that you're converting. So, for instance, you want to convert 2.45 meters to centimeters. Just press in the 2.45 row, and there's your answer in centimeters, or if you want, in millimeters, or even kilometers. And then return that back to zero for the next use. So, for instance, if I have here 12,250 millimeters, it will tell me what that is in centimeters, meters, and kilometers. So it's a useful tool, that one. All right, and that's of course for Pythagoras, which is you need two lengths. If you haven't got two lengths, then one possible option is of course SOHCAHTOA, or trigonometry as we know it. That's when you're given a length and an angle, or you're given two lengths because you can actually in fact work out the angles. So let's say, for instance, the classic sine 30-degree type problem. So if I have the opposite side of 5, and the angle that we're looking is 30 degrees, in other words, the angle opposite side, 5, is 30 degrees, you'll find that the hypotenuse is twice that length. Remember, sine 30 is half. So, and the advantage of this, of course, you actually get both other sides. So be careful. Make sure you choose which is your answer that you require. And at the same time, it calculates the other angle. So you have all three angles. Remember, it must be a right angle triangle. Furthermore, don't forget sometimes you might have to scroll across because it could be in the latter parts of this file. One other thing that you may require, and that's of course using decimals, or converting decimals to degrees of minutes and vice versa. So for instance, if I put in there 30.5 degrees, that should give me 30 degrees, 30 minutes. So easier. And vice versa, you can put in that by just typing over, by backspacing 30, 30, and we should get 30.5. You can also put degrees and minutes in here, but for that you'll need to use the DMS button. I can't remember where it was. So there's your challenge. Go look for the DMS, or you can always go to the catalog. there's the catalog control. Sorry, no, not control, just DMS button not there. So go D, MS, DMS, no, backspace, D. Anyway, find it, or I think it might actually be here. No, not there, the Pi button. Pi button. Let me get rid of this first. Pi button. Let's see. Pi button. Oh yeah, so there's your degree and there's your minutes. So I can, for instance, put in here 30 degrees, so it's 30. Get the degrees and 30 minutes. A bit slower, but it does the job. And you can see slight variation on our results from the 30 degrees. So that's SOHCAHTOA, made simple. And don't forget, always same rule applies. Make sure you delete before you start the next problem. Do I have any special features down below here? I don't know. Oh yes, there, as I said, was the conversion from degrees to decimal. So don't forget, a useful tool at all times when you have a tech-able exam, even at year 12, you have every right to use these programs, especially when it comes to multiple choice questions where you don't have to show working. Oh, and if I have to show working, don't forget, this does actually show work. Let's say you identify that the adjacent was 12, the angle is 40 degrees, and you want to know how to work out the hypotenuse, go to the answer, and there it is. The hypotenuse equals, what's in B2? The adjacent over cos theta. So you can see it shows you the process. And this could also be useful if it was a multiple choice question where they're asking for a step of calculation rather than an answer. So very useful, as was the case with back here. If I was to go up to and put in here, let's try another triad, good old 11 and I don't know, 40. And as you can see, there it is. So the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. That's what those two numbers are, b2 and b3. Trust that will help you. Right.